Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, everyone. Here I'm about to present my article entitled Exploring Students' Perceptions of the Grammar City Board Game in Simple Present Tense Learning. Before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Anisya Pramundita with student ID 1621600045. I'm from English Education Program, Teacher Training and Education Faculty, Universitas Pancasakti Tegal, 2026. First, introduction. During the writer's teaching practice at SMA Negeri Brebes, it was observed that the students found it hard to understand grammar materials even after several meetings. At that time, the writer used grammar translation method or GTM. This method tends to make the students passive and bored during the learning process. Higher post-test scores in the experimental groups, which demonstrated an improvement in students' grammar proficiency, demonstrated that game-based learning was more successful than traditional instruction, according to Julian et al. 2023. Grammar City Board Game is a Monopoly-like educational game designed to help students practice grammar in a fun and interactive way. There is a few studies which highlights the students' perceptions of board games in grammar learning, specifically in learning simple present tense with Indonesian high school context. Methodology. First is type of research. This uses qualitative descriptive method. And then 2, time and place of research. The research was conducted on January 5 to January 8, 2026 in the grade 11 F4 at SMA Negeri 3 Brebes during the 2025-2026 academic year. Third is research target or subject. The target is 11th grade students of the second semester of the academic year 2025-2026 at SMA Negeri 3 Brebes. This used total sampling. Fourth, procedures. First, the researcher introduced the Grammar City board game. The students then played the game in groups. The researcher then distributed a questionnaire consisting of closed-ended and open-ended questions. 5. Data instruments and data collection techniques. The data were collected using 5 Likert scale and open-ended questionnaire. With written questionnaire, students had space to think first and express their opinions. Data analysis techniques. There are 6 steps: organizing the data, reading through the data, coding, developing themes in the data, and interpreting the findings. Results. Here are the results. There are 13 5 Likert scale questions. First is with the statements. I feel comfortable with the idea of employing game as a grammar learning tool. 0% strongly disagree, 0% disagree, 9% neutral, 35% agree, 56% strongly agree. Grammar City board game helps increase my confidence when using grammar in speaking or writing. 0% strongly disagree, 0% disagree, 44% neutral, 47% agree, 9% strongly agree. Grammar City board game is simple to set up in the classroom. 0% strongly agree, 3% disagree, 27% neutral, 41% agree, 29% strongly agree. The use of Grammar City board game technique can be time-consuming. 3% strongly disagree, 29% disagree, 62% neutral, 6% agree, 0% strongly agree. I had I had fun when playing the game. 0% strongly disagree, 0% disagree, 18% neutral, 32% agree, 50% strongly agree. I believe that the game improved my understanding of grammar. 0% strongly disagree, 3% disagree, 29% neutral, 56% agree, 9% strongly agree. I believe that the game improved my understanding of grammar. 0% strongly disagree, 3% disagree, 29% neutral, 56% agree, 9% strongly agree. Grammar City board game improves interaction between classmates in the learning process. 0% strongly disagree, 0% disagree, 29% neutral, 29% agree, 50% strongly agree. Grammar City board game is suitable for all types of students. 0% strongly disagree, 0% disagree, 29% neutral, 41% agree, 30% strongly agree. I prefer to play game live during class time. 0% strongly disagree, 6% disagree, 50% neutral, 29% agree, 15% strongly agree. The game helps me become more productive in class activities. 0% strongly disagree, 3% disagree, 56% neutral, 29% agree, 12% strongly agree. The game helps me acquire knowledge related to the lesson. 0% strongly disagree, 3% disagree, 12% neutral, 65% agree, 20% strongly agree. The game gives me a positive impact on learning new things. 0% strongly disagree, 0% disagree, 21% neutral, 56% agree, 23% strongly agree. I would like to use Grammar City board game again in future lessons. 0% strongly disagree, 3% disagree, 35% neutral, 30% agree, 32% strongly agree. Although a few unfavorable responses were found, their proportion was small in comparison to the overall positive responses. This suggests that only a few students were uncomfortable or had reservations about using the game to learn grammar. The low number of negative responses suggests that the game's implementation did not elicit significant resistance in the classroom. Most students appeared to accept the game as an appropriate instructional medium and did not think it was unsuitable for grammar lessons. Overall, the results show that students have positive attitudes toward the use of games in grammar instructions, particularly in terms of comfort, acceptance, and relevance to the learning process. Results. These are the results of open-ended questionnaire. First is enjoyment, theme, description of students' responses. Students described the activity as enjoyable, fun, and not boring, and stated that learning grammar through the game made the lesson more engaging. Active participation. Students reported that interacting with classmates through asking and answering questions made the learning process more enjoyable and active. Better understanding. Students reported that the game helped them understand grammar more easily and made learning less difficult. Teamwork and discussion. Students reported that the game encouraged interaction, cooperation, and teamwork among classmates. Need improvements. Some students reported that the game could become less engaging when questions were limited or repeated, which occasionally led to boredom. Conclusion. The study looked at students' perceptions on using the Grammar City board game to learn the simple present tense as well as their learning experiences while using it. The findings show that students have a generally positive attitude toward the game's integration into grammar instruction. That's all. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.